So I'll start at the beginning. As you know, I'm a first-generation Canadian. My whole family came from a very tiny island. And everybody says that, but we actually came from it. The Dot in the Caribbean, Antigua. And so as a result of that, my dad came to this country, and he actually is the first person who showed me what volunteerism looked like. So when I became older and he received his first award as a Jubilee Award winner, I was amazed that all these places I would visit with him were not just visits. They were him helping community members, him fixing things for them, him having conversations and talks about where they would go and travel and make change in the community. So one day he invited me to an event, and I should have been beside myself to go to this event, but I didn't understand the significance of this visit. We went to Queen's Park, and there I would meet a gentleman with a very interesting accent. Where's that accent from? South Africa. This man would be Nelson Mandela. So as much as many of you may say, you met Nelson Mandela? Well, I went to go and see him. I paid no mind. I was enamored. My shining armor, my hero was my dad. So when I look back at my life and I think about what shaped me and what brought me to this place, I think more about who were the people that were involved in my life, who helped me understand what it meant to turn the other cheek, to stand up for myself, and more importantly, to stand up for others. And in that, Michelle emerged. I started to grow and shape from a young woman with bright-eyed ideals into a very pragmatic and factual and realistic woman. And then I knew that inside of all of this teaching and these experiences that something else was growing inside of me. I had an opportunity to share all that knowledge with other people. And so I did. I started to volunteer. I started to speak up. I started to claim my voice. And so it almost seemed like a natural progression for me to run an event for a family that had lost 2 of their children in a home fire. My father was a firefighter. I had grown up in the house of a first responder, which is a very unique experience. And from his experiences as a police officer, his military experience, and then being an engineer in fire services, I learned about life. I also learned about death, and I learned about the significance of what your journey looks like in between both of those. And so every day I wake up, I focus on what can I do to make someone else's life better so that they don't have to go through the obstacles, the heartache, the lack of self-assuredness that I had when I was a young person, when I was a teenager in the in-between, living the Canadian culture and living a Caribbean culture all in the same breath. And so one day I had $100 in my pocket, and I decided I'm gonna run for school board trustee. And that was in 2014. It was the day before the election polls were going to close, or at least the nomination polls. I put my $100 down, I filled in the form, and then I said, what next? The great thing about my experience was I had years and almost decades of volunteer, grassroots experience working for not-for-profits, having bake sales, raising funds for homeless people, clothes drives, and so on and so forth, that my numbers were solid when the elections actually were polled. So despite the fact that I had no signs and I didn't get to speak anywhere other than 2 places, I was endorsed. I came very close with my incumbents, leaving them in just by about 400 votes, and I knew that I was on the right path, and that set the blaze for me to know that this was my calling. So when you think that your little is not good enough, I am here to say it is more than enough, and it is the greatest place to start, just a little bit. There is a song that sounds like that. Just a little bit, enough, just a little bit. And that's all you need in order to show your community that you really do care for them, and that all of your struggles in life And all of your wins didn't go for nothing. They went for you to pass the baton to the next generation. Thank you for watching, and let's get it done.